Hey everybody, it's Ryan Metzler here again, and today we're going to take a look at one of the rabbits from the Dice Hate Me line. Now this was a Kickstarter with several games in it. You could pledge for a certain, group of them or another group or all of them. We're going to take a look at Diner, which was the winner of a design contest that Dice Hate Me Games held, and deservingly so, I think, but we'll talk about that more in a minute. The game pretty much consists of this little deck of cards. It will come in a different box when you get it with a couple of tokens as well for action tracking, but the idea is that each player is a server trying to serve tables in order to get the most tips. But if you don't serve your tables, you're going to lose money. So real quick, why don't we take a look at what this little deck of cards is for. We'll see how the game plays, and then we'll come back here at the end and get my opinions that I've already ruined on Diner. So here we are looking at the components for Diner, which is one of the cards in the Dice Hate Me Games Rabbit line that's going to be hitting very soon. Now, you'll note that I have poker chips for action markers. These are not in the game. There will be action markers for you to use, but I do not have the action markers, just the final cards. So just note that these will not be in the game. But basically what you're looking at here is a game in which each player represents a server trying to get the most tips. And instead of taking turns in this game, everyone is going to play simultaneously, thus these action markers. If you have an action marker, you may take an action. When you do so, you are then going to pass the action marker to the player on your left, who will now have more actions that they can take. So if you take all of your actions very quickly, you may not take actions for a little while if other players are playing slowly, which of course would give you more time to plan. But what are these actions? Well, you may use an action marker in order to take a card from the kitchen over here. These are the kitchen cards, and you'll see there are different meals on them. Each player starts the game with a hand of meals. This player has pancakes, and burger and fries. But maybe they don't need pancakes, and burger and fries. This other player has burger, pancake, slightly different. And our third player here has burger, bacon, and eggs and pancake. But maybe they really need a salad, so they decide to pass one of their markers off and draw a salad. So that's one type of action you can take, is simply to draw one of the meals from the kitchen and put it into your hand of different dishes that you have. Now remember, everybody's doing this simultaneously, so you may try and get one and somebody got to it before you. Tough luck in that case. You better move faster next time. You may also seat one of the current people in your section. You're going to want to do this because you're going to want to try and get their tips. You'll see that different meals are worth different tips. For example, this one here is burger and fries, salad, and bacon and eggs, worth $6. But 2 burgers is worth $3, and 3 pancakes and a steak is worth $6. So maybe, for example, this player right here already has burger and eggs, so they decide to use their action in order to seat in their own section the burger and fries. Burger and fries is going to be something that they're trying to fulfill. When they do so, they're going to take one of the plates from the kitchen and they're going to use it to refill the possible seating options, which is called the lounge. So they take that card, they place it in their own section, and they replace it with this card here, which now gives us pancakes, salad, and bacon and eggs. And that will be something else that a player could seat in their section if they would like. The third option you could do, maybe this player passes one of their tokens and they think that another player can theoretically satisfy this. Burger and fries, salad, and bacon and eggs. And what they do is decide to seat this at the counter. Seating something at the counter is basically discarding it, and it goes into the sink here, which is a discard pile. And then they would replace that item with a new table, putting it out there. And now this table is no longer available. They've maybe taken a scoring opportunity from another player, but they've replaced it with a new plate. Or maybe there's nothing out there they can do, so they decide to cycle one through so that they can find one that they themselves can fulfill with their hand of cards. The final option of what you can do and the way you're going to earn points is to actually serve your tables that you have in your section. You can only serve a table that you've already taken to your section, so you have to have spent an action moving that card into your own seated section. Note that you may have as many tables as you would like, but not serving a table by the end of the game will actually earn you negative money, and money is victory points. So if I were to take this pancake and steak and not serve it by the end of the game, I'd actually lose $4 towards my point score, and that's obviously not good. So you want to serve everyone you take. But you can serve your table that you've sat in your section, and doing so costs you a token. When you do so, you're going to say order up, and then you're going to shout out what it is that you're actually placing on that table. So in this case, I'd say order up burger and fries. I would then place the 2 burgers and fries into the sink, and I would take this and put it into my tip pile, which is my score pile for the end of the game. In this manner, you'll note that I'm now down to 1 card in hand, which means I'm going to need more action tokens to pick up more cards from the kitchen in order to get more cards into my hand, in order to serve more tables after I seat them, which will require actions. So all of this time you're trying to figure out how to best utilize your actions to prevent your opponents from getting points, while yourself getting dishes, seating tables, and serving those tables, and making sure that you actually call everything out properly. So when you call out that you're seating somebody, you have to say seating in my section. When you call out that you're putting somebody at the counter, you have to say seating at the counter and discard the card. When you do an order, you have to say order up and call out what it is that you're serving to that table. So all of these things you have to do, and you have to call them out properly. At least I play that you have to call them out properly, or you can't do the action. Now you're going to go on in this manner until 2 of these piles in the kitchen run out. At that point, you're going to call out, or somebody's going to call out, break time. They should call out break time. Anybody can call it out, but somebody's going to call out break time, and what that's going to do is it's going to take all of the cards that are in the sink and it's going to shuffle them with the remaining pile. So 2 of these piles will be gone. The stuff in the sink will get shuffled with the remaining pile and divided into 3 equal piles again to make up a new kitchen. At that point, you're going to say breaks over, and you're going to start again with the same process, continuing on from where you were at, trying to earn tips and to serve the tables that you have in your section. This will go until 2 of the piles run out again, at which point somebody can but does not have to call out closing time. If you don't think you're in the lead, obviously you don't want to close down and you don't want the game to end. But if you are in the lead, you're going to call out closing time, or if you think you're in the lead, you're going to call out closing time, and the game will end basically right then and there. What you're going to do then is you're going to throw away everything in your hand, and you're going to count up all of the values of the things in your tip area. You're going to subtract the value of the things in your area that you did not serve, and that is going to be your total. And whoever happens to have the most money in tips is going to be the winner of Diner. And there you have it. That is Diner. This game is excellent. It really is. It's very unique. I enjoy it immensely, and the reasoning is the simultaneous action playing, where you have a certain number of action tokens and you can take an action whenever you would like. Sometimes you're sitting around waiting for something to show up and you're hoarding actions. Other times you're trying to get them as fast as possible and throw them out in order to get things from the kitchen to serve a table that you have at your area, or you really need an action to take that table, but everybody else is doing things, you know, spastically around the table, and keeping track of everything can be really difficult. The most fun is calling out orders and making sure that other players are calling things out properly, that other players are replenishing the table properly, because you can think of fun ways to penalize them, or even suggestions in the rulebooks as to what to do if people aren't taking their actions properly. But it really has this chaotic feel of a diner that's really, really busy and trying to serve all of these different customers. It has Take That, where you can throw away orders that other people may want. It has Take That in the form of grabbing things that they may need for their orders and competing over the availability of different dishes that are in the kitchen. It just has a lot of interesting things going on for it, and I enjoy it immensely. I think it's a great design that utilizes a space that's not frequently used, and does so in a very small form factor that you can take out and kind of teach to social gamers, non-social gamers, all different types of gamers very quickly. So I can't really recommend this one enough. Very happy with what Dice Hate Me Games has done here. I'm glad that it was the winner of their contest. I wish I had the name of the designer on hand, but I don't. But kudos to the designer of this game for coming up with something that's interesting and new, fresh, fun, and great to play. So if that sounds good to you, check it out. That's Diner from the Rabbids line from Dice Hate Me Games.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at